Welcome one and all to Umami Manga. I'm Petter and this is James.
Hello.
And today we're talking about Volume 4 of Jujutsu Kaisen. Just continuing on with the series. I have nothing really to say before we get into the character discussions. How about you?
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for these past 3 episodes
Oh, yes.
where my mic issues have just been really bad. I mean,
Well, it's really only the most recent one.
really, yeah, really the most recent one where I forgot to plug in my mic. But in case I haven't mentioned before, I have moved to a different place. Therefore, my sound quality is probably not as good as it used to be. But Petter is an amazing editor, so I'm sure he's made it sound very nice anyway.
I hope
so
so.
I probably do sound a little echoey compared to previous Umami Manga episodes, but thank you for your patience, especially after the previous episode. That will not happen again.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we learn from making mistakes, right? So I think from here on out we'll be extra careful.
This will be the best Jujutsu Kaisen podcast ever, or
at least so far.
You never know what could happen.
That's so true. But yes, with that all out of the way, let's dive into the characters. And I want to start with Junpei Yoshino this week as well to kind of honor this fallen character.
Yeah, man.
My gosh. It's kind of funny. Last time when we talked, or when I was speculating about what I thought, how his story arcs would go and whatnot, I was completely kind of hung up on him either becoming a villain or an ally. It didn't at all cross my mind that he would die, like, early on in the following book. And I think I said something like, we already have so many, like, interesting good guys, so we don't need more right now.
I guess.
Well, I guess I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
But not like this. Ugh. Yeah, this tragedy, I did not see it coming at all. It definitely came as a shock to me, and God, it made me sad. Because I really like this fellow. Plus, just the fact that he had such, like, everything was going shit for him. Like,
right.
His school life, like, teachers and students alike were mistreating him. His mother passed away in the previous book, and everything was just hell. And now he dies after being transfigured, and so sad. Ugh, I'm sad.
It really is. Yeah, and it's so sudden too.
Right.
Because you get the moment with Yuji realizing that Junpei has been in conversation with Mahito, or he knows him. It's like, you gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
And then Mahito says a few lines, and then he just messes up with his soul. Like,
yeah. That page flip is so jarring, or like just so unsettling. Oh.
Yeah, there's no final words really. There's hardly any closure. I mean, we get a bit after the whole fight goes down, but that's it. He's gone. Junpei, that's it.
Yeah.
It's really sad. In the anime, they tease Junpei like joining the academy or the school. Kind of similar way as one of the beginning chapter.
Oh yeah, like
where
for the what if chapter, like the first page. Yeah. Gotcha.
They take it a step further and they show him like in the school, like with activities, like chilling with the bros. And so it makes you think, oh yeah, he'll join them eventually, right? No. Yeah.
Damn you, Mahito.
Yeah. Right?
Oh
man.
Yeah, if you didn't hate that guy before this, then yeah, most people would probably hate him after.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
But despite only being in the story for like a volume or so, maybe 1.5, his death was pretty impactful, I felt like.
It really was. Yeah, I agree completely. And even though he's dead now, I sort of hope that he can kind of remain relevant. I think if he can, become a motivator or like a motivation for Yuji moving forward, for example, I could see that being a thing, and that we can remember him that way, perhaps. I just don't want it to be forgotten. And
yeah,
we did get this scene with like the snobby school kid and the dumb teacher guy.
Mm-hmm.
where they were talking about him, and the teacher seems to have somehow, well, he's trying to do better, it seems like. um and I don't know, like, I sort of want to continue following them to some extent in the story moving forward as well, just to see if, for example, if the teacher actually will continue to try to do better, or if this is just like a thing for now, and then he'll just go back to being kind of the bitch ass that he used to be, or and also if the snobby boy will, try to improve at all. Like, I don't know, I think that could be interesting, and maybe through them, if the story will linger on those at all, then maybe we can learn a little more on about Junpei through them, potentially.
Mm.
But maybe that's wishful thinking or something. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I mean, if
Yeah.
if the two club members that Yuji, like the two friends of Yuji's that were in the first book, if they're anything to go by, they may just be forgotten like they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're definitely not main players.
Yeah.
I honestly have less of an issue with the teacher now. I mean, yes, I feel like he kind of turned a blind eye, but also just didn't understand whatsoever what was going on.
Mm.
And he was just stupid, like socially awkward in that way.
Yeah.
I think it's just ironic that a teacher who's supposed to help student is just socially inept.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah,
And I think
absolutely.
that's what makes the character interesting. But I also like the fact, or I like the fact that he seems like he's trying to take responsibility for his, I guess, inability to notice that kind of stuff.
Mm.
But I mean, in the end, will he really be better? I don't know. Who can say? But I mean, just what a punk thing to do by that bully guy, to put cigarette butts on someone and give them scars like that. Like, what the freak?
Yeah. Yeah. It's messed
Who
up.
gives you the right, the nerve?
Yeah.
Man,
Gosh.
poor kid. And so I think part of Junpei's downfall was that he had no one to turn to, no one that would listen to him, besides his mom, obviously. But
Yeah.
sometimes you need more than just your parental figure.
For sure. Yeah. And yeah, like, Yuji did appear, but by that point it was probably too late. Like, he was too far gone kind of at that point, sadly.
Well, I argue that maybe he wasn't too far gone. I think if Mahito wasn't there, I think maybe Yuji would have been able to bring him back, or help him out. I think he was actually going to have a turnaround moment.
Actually,
and that's
yes.
what makes Mahito's actions at that moment just so devastating.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why it's so infuriating, because you can sense a change in Junpei, like a good change. Like, yeah, he doesn't want this death and destruction to happen. And yeah, you're right. And I mean, that was literally the reason why Mahito did what he did, because he noticed that Junpei wasn't willing to cooperate with him anymore. So that's why he did what he did with him, I assume.
I think it could also be he was trying to force Sukuna out, and he thought that changing him would make Itadori use Sukuna's power.
True.
I don't know.
No, but that does make sense too. It could have been a combination of the two.
Yeah.
But yes.
That's all I have on Junpei.
Cool. Then let's talk a bit about Yuji Itadori next. He's supposedly, I guess, rather uniquely able to harm Mahito with his attacks. Thanks to being able to somehow see his soul, sort of. Because he has two souls dwelling within him. Like, they didn't really go into detail there much, and we sort of only saw Mahito's, I guess, speculations about it. But it was, I guess, I mean, if we ever do get more depth on that, I think there's potential for some interesting, I guess, lore things to come from that. Because we don't know any other characters who can harm him, do we? Or at least Nanami couldn't.
I bet Gojo could, just because he's so OP.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I actually don't know who else can harm him, or why exactly Itadori can harm him. Maybe it was explained, I just can't remember. So this is all genuine speculation. But I wonder if the kind of double hit that Yuji has, where he punches physically and then he punches with the curse. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of explained before. I wonder if that's what it is. Like he punches the physical body of Mahito, but then his secondary curse energy gets through straight to his soul
That's
because it kind of
yeah.
like breaks like the shield and then gets past. Maybe,
Right. No,
maybe.
I could see that being like the actual, I guess, explanation, because Mahito's own, I guess, speculation about it that I guess works as an explanation too, although it's not very detailed, was that
Yeah.
because of the fact that Yuji has a second soul inside of him, he's used. I guess like there was something about that makes it so that he's used to souls in some sense, and
Huh.
that allowed him
Okay.
to sense or see Mahito's soul and know how to where to hit him or something like that.
Mm,
I think something along those lines at least was Mahito's speculation
okay.
on it, but I sort of like, or well, the explanation you gave I think sort of makes more sense. Um,
Yeah.
but
I,
yeah, I don't know.
it is a little confusing.
Yeah.
Maybe what I'm saying is what Mahito is trying to understand. Maybe I don't know. Or
Mm,
maybe I'm
right.
just really off base there. I
Mm,
could be.
eh.
But either way, Itadori is able to hit him like that and
Mm,
actually do a lot more damage than just that
yeah.
in terms of, well, I mean, it's not really Itadori's power, it's more so Sukuna's power, you know? Or
Oh
just
yeah. Fair.
his presence um,
Yeah.
against a person who messes with souls, I guess, is a pretty good weapon.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And then Gojo got Yuji to do the surprise return thing in front of his classmates, which was not at all successful. Uh,
Well,
as
maybe for
uh,
Gojo it was.
okay, yeah, he got a kick out of it, I'm sure. But even though Nobara and Megumi didn't respond, I guess positively exactly, I still kind of liked their responses or their reactions because I felt like those reactions from them sort of shows us really that both Nobara and Megumi genuinely care about Yuji. Like those
Yeah,
responses were responses that you would get from someone that genuinely cares about you
right.
and who is upset. Sure, they're upset at him for maybe not saying anything sooner and stuff like that. But that I think that only points toward them caring.
Absolutely. And it matches their characters so well.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think they'd be the kind of person to go like, and just,
Right.
freak out like they're on some Japanese talk show.
Yes.
Uh, but I think, yeah, it matches their character and shows that they do care.
Mm.
If I may, going back to
Mm.
his fight with Mahito, he has to fight the transfigured humans, and Mahito thinks, oh, he won't be able to kill him,
Right.
but he does,
Hmm.
and that's a huge step for him.
Yeah.
And maybe a step that he never expected he would have to take, but at that point in time, it was needed. And it's interesting when you compare it to other shonen protagonists, where there is so much value in life that even if you do run into a character like this who used to be human but is horribly disfigured or wants to die, sometimes, I mean, it depends on the show, but
Mm.
sometimes the main character just insists that he'll never do that and they find a different way or something like that.
Yeah.
But I respect that Yuji was able to overcome that feeling of regret and feeling of, I guess, horribleness of killing a person, because in the end, like, there's no helping them, there's no saving them, at least from what they could tell.
Mm.
And this is letting them die and move on. It's just the right thing to do. So I respect Yuji for making that choice. It's a difficult one, but I really like that growth.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. It was a big step.
Something about Sukuna, we've kind of talked about this before, but it's established strongly here that the only person that Sukuna right now cares about, not even really Itadori,
Mm.
it's Megumi. Like,
Right.
it's his focus. And I really don't know who was saying that. Was it just a random narrator who came in and said
Right.
that?
Yeah, I wasn't quite completely sure either.
Yeah, tad bit confusing because I don't think Yuji himself would have realized that, you know?
No. I mean, it may have been Sukuna's thoughts, perhaps.
Maybe.
But still, yeah, the fact that he still has that obsession, quote unquote, for Megumi specifically is interesting.
It's odd. Like, what is he? What is he seeing? Like, he did. I guess he was about to do something, and then
Right.
Yuji came in to say or to stop it. But like, what exactly does he see in the boy? I'm sure there's a lot of potential, but
yeah,
it's just strange that he's or even the manga established that he's obsessed with the guy.
Right.
So,
and it seems to be something really special. Like otherwise, I don't think this like Sukuna, who is in and of himself very special, like he wouldn't care if Megumi wasn't also like something very unique, I think.
Yeah.
So that's I mean, it's really hard to speculate on it, at least for me right now, but it is super interesting for sure.
Yeah. A couple more things. So he's questioning his philosophy about what does it mean to die naturally. Because up until this point, he's like, I want to die natural death. Like, I got to get stronger so I can do that. But now he's like, well, what does that even mean?
Right.
He's just questioning that kind of stuff. I like the advice that Nanami gives him. Please don't die trying to reach that goal because you have so many people that need your help. That need you to save them, just like me.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, because I think that's a great message in and of itself. That sure, it's good to take care of other people, but you won't be able to do that unless you take care of yourself first. Like,
right.
Like that's something that's I think can be taken from that.
Indeed. And then lastly, killing Mahito has become his new goal, it seems like, along with understanding exactly what it means to die naturally, which he mentioned. His other goal is kill Mahito.
Yeah.
So nice to have goals to work for.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's move on to Kento Nanami next. When he was captured in Mahito's domain expansion, we got this flashback of his past.
Yeah, we did.
Which was very, very good. I really appreciated that. And when I was reading through that the first time, I got this really strong feeling that this is a death flag. He's gonna die here because I mean the situation was really bleak. When he was there in the domain expansion alone with Mahito, and so with that and the fact that we got his life flashed before his eyes or whatever, like it seemed like he was about to die, and I was like, fuck, no, not Nanami too. So I'm so glad he didn't. But I do like how that scene as a whole, that entire scene at the school there, it subverted at least my expectations twice. First, when I thought Junpei would live, but he died, and then when I thought Nanami would die, but he lived. So, yeah. You win and you lose, I guess.
Yeah. Subverting expectations.
Absolutely.
That's what I guess he's pretty good at.
Yeah, really.
But I think Nanami was definitely ready to die there. I think he felt satisfaction in life.
He had no regrets.
Yeah. And then Yuji's like, not today. I really like that backstory. It's so simple.
Right.
And yet it just kind of highlights the little joys in life.
Yeah.
And please excuse me for the person I am. But when I first saw this in the anime, I was like, I totally ship it. This is my number one OTP. Bakery Girl and Nanami. Let's go.
I shouldn't be surprised.
You shouldn't be. I was really enamored with that whole scene. I was like, okay, I like that. I want to go to bakery myself. Like that. When I go back to Tokyo or wherever he was, I'm going to bakery.
Yes.
I will find that place.
Yeah. No, but yeah, that was they definitely had some very sweet interactions. But
there was sparks were flying, man.
It
wasn't just nice customer service. No, sparks were flying.
At least from her end. I don't know if there were on his end. I don't know.
Oh, really? Yeah. I mean, no, it's hard to say for Nanami for sure. I really like when another person is a kind of a support or a saving grace for another person.
Mm.
That's what gets my like shipping gears in motion in a way.
Right.
But no, regardless of my stupidity, that scene is really great, and I love how just a simple thank you really just made his day, and he basically says, I kind of gave a bit of meaning to my life. And even though that was not something he was really looking for. So I like that.
You're right. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. It's simple yet so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's hard, I think, to pull off those types of things in storytelling, but it really works here.
Yeah.
But yeah, after being saved twice by Yuji in that battle with Maito, Nanami now recognizes Yuji as a Jujutsu sorcerer. So that was a nice little
that was cool
development. Yeah. Yeah, I think Nanami is becoming one of my favorite characters. I don't know if I have like a list of like favorites in any orders exactly right now, but Nanami is definitely one of my favorites at the moment.
He's cool, man. Like I love how he comes in this volume just in the nick of time to save the day. And then him and Yuji going back and forth, just wailing at Mahito. Oh, so good.
It really is. I really want to see this in the anime now.
Dude, you gotta watch it after we're done talking, like or after we're done discussing what's been covered in the anime. Like it's so good.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Last thing I have on Nanami is just his line, "We all die differently." Right. And it's something that I never really thought about. I mean, we're all different peoples, and yes, people die of old age or some sort of illness, but it's all has its different nuances and whatnot. So
true.
The concept of dying naturally is maybe not one that is as easy to establish or pin down, because we all do die differently. So yeah, it's something that I got my gears turning.
For sure. Yeah. It's thought-provoking. It's interesting. Yeah. Well then, let's talk about Megumi Fushiguro next.
Okay.
Well, really the only thing I got is not exactly from him specifically, but it's something that Noritoshi from the Kyoto school said, that Megumi is a Zenin.
Right?
So like the Fushiguro family is like an offshoot of the Zenin family or something like that.
Was that the first time we had heard that, right?
I didn't know anything about that before, at least.
Yeah.
And the way he said that made it seem like the Zenin family is something special. At least that's how that's the vibes I got from it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because the two characters that we know of the Zenin family, like Maki and Mai, both are kind of lackluster in their sorcery abilities. And they're, since they neither of them can use cursed techniques, and Maki can't even use cursed energy, or right. So that was interesting that it somehow the Zenin family is supposedly special in some sense, despite all of that. But yeah, I'm just curious about all of this right now.
I'm very curious to learn more about the Zenin family.
Yeah.
I remember at this point in the anime, that was something I wanted to understand more, because it felt like that Maki and Mai were just kind of failures in a way.
Sort of.
Especially since Maki wants to kind of stick it to her family. That she can be a sorcerer.
Right. I wonder if maybe like by some fluke, only these two specifically are quote unquote failures, and like maybe the rest of the family isn't. Like maybe it's something like that. I don't know. I guess that's a possibility, but yeah.
But then where does the Fushiguro, whatever it is,
right?
What is that? Playing onto this, like I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think I can really say much until we get more on this.
Yeah. I think Megumi is one of the more interesting backstory characters right now that we don't know a whole lot about, but we're getting like indications that there's something important, either from Sukuna or now that we understand he's a Zenin, I guess.
Precisely,
so,
yeah.
What does this all mean?
Yeah, so I wonder if there is a connection between him being a Zenin and the fact that Sukuna has his eye on him. Like, because if the Zenin family is something special in and of themselves, or in and of itself, then maybe that could play play a part, perhaps, in Sukuna's interest in Megumi, maybe.
Maybe.
Although, that also...
How long has the family been around?
There's that.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. And also, how would he know that Megumi is of the Zenin family, you know?
Yeah.
Or like a descendant of that. Yeah.
I took your blood test.
Right.
I found you.
Yeah. There's a lot that remains to be seen there, but it's definitely intriguing, and I do like when stories do this, when they just drop very kind of just vague hints early on, then little by little we start to understand more. So yeah, it's very good so far.
I liked how he was able to tell Yuji, or something was eating Yuji. I think they've become good enough friends that they can tell something's up with the other one, and even Yuji. I mean, Yuji's a pretty friendly, outgoing guy, but he's comfortable enough to share with Megumi exactly what was on his mind and everything like that. So yeah, it's good friendship, even though they really haven't known each other too long.
True, precisely. But they have both been through kind of similar experiences now. Like they've both experienced the loss of someone, like a friend.
Like a friend.
Yeah. And yeah, sure, Megumi got Yuji back, but still, he did grieve, and you know, sadly we're most likely not getting Junpei back, but still, yeah, I think having shared that experience, even though it's different, but still, I think it's something that maybe they can bond over, or somehow at least understand each other better. But shall we move on to Satoru Gojo next?
Sure.
So he's starting to suspect that there's someone at Jujutsu High who's working with the bad guys. At least he seems to trust Utahime enough to ask her to help him find this person. I guess it would be funny if it was her all along, but I do trust Gojo's judgment on people. I want to.
That would be funny if it was. But no, like,
she's cool. Yeah, she's funny. It would feel weird if she ended up being a bad guy. But anyway, it's interesting. And anything else on Gojo?
You can cut this out if you want, but when he's explaining the plan to Yuji about the surprise plan, he's like, someone might even throw up, and I just thought, like, what? I mean, obviously global warming was funny too, but
just throwing up out of excitement. Yeah. Yes.
But I think that plan was probably mostly to surprise the president of the Kyoto school.
Actually, yeah.
Or principal or whatever.
Yeah, and just to kind of tease him in the way that Gojo likes to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. But should we move on to Yoshinobu Gakuganji then?
Sure.
At least a bit. Really, the only thing I wanted to mention here is just lift up the fact that this fucker ordered his students to kill Yuji during the Goodwill event. During a Goodwill event! Come on!
There's goodwill after we kill Yuji.
Yeah,
I mean, I have a goodwill to kill Yuji.
Yeah. From his perspective, he means well. Like, I guess this is his way I guess, the way that he sees is the best thing for the world or something, but...
I mean, I think that's exactly what it is, but he's just a
coward.
Foolish old guy who is just stuck up in traditions and won't listen to reason.
True. So true. Yeah, he's becoming more and more scary, definitely.
Yeah.
But I guess there isn't much more on him, though.
No.
Then let's talk about Aoi Todo a bit.
Oh, Todo.
He may be brutal and he may be dense as fuck, but at least he didn't seem completely on board with the killing Yuji thing.
I got morals and stuff, man.
And he needs to see his idol on the TV.
He's gonna watch it live and record it. Don't underestimate me.
So, like, I wonder if, like, that was kind of the reason why. That was the reason why he wanted to get this over with, because he wanted to, he didn't want to miss that show. But so like, to me, it was kind of hard to read him. if that was the only reason why he didn't want to listen, or if he was also
Ah,
kind of like against the idea itself. So to me, it's a bit hard to read him in that sense.
fair.
Like it's possible that he doesn't care about it, that he doesn't want to kill another person like that. That's possible, but it's not necessarily the case. I guess the way I see it.
True. I got the impression that he didn't like the ganging up on one person and
Mm.
killing them, kind of that whole thing.
Ah, I could see that. Yeah.
Um, like maybe if they had asked him personally to do it, or if he had killed them in just a friendly competition, he probably wouldn't have minded. Maybe I don't know. It it's hard to say. He's kind of nuts, to be honest.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and
Dumb guys are perfect.
right. Oh, yeah, that's what his idol says.
Jeez.
And I bet he's happy about that.
Oh yeah. He's like, wow, that's me in real life. Like, she's talking to me.
Yeah. But oh my, I thought it was so funny how this volume ended with him asking Yuji what type of girl he likes, just the same way how volume 2 ended with him asking the same thing to Megumi.
This
Like
man.
to end like doing cliffhangers like that twice now. For some reason, I just find that so funny. Whew. But yeah, it's interesting, I guess, to not really know where he stands exactly on this whole thing.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
fair.
do find that intriguing. Anything else on him?
No.
Then let's talk a bit about Kasumi Miwa. I was like, I expressed last time how happy or how much I liked her despite the fairly small role that she had. She had a small role in this book as well, but it was cool to see that she, even though she doesn't say it out loud, is opposed to killing Yuji, or she at least that seems to be the
Yeah.
case with all the thinking that she does
Mhm.
in those scenes. So yeah, she seems to be a solid person. Um, and I wonder, like, she was the only one I think that it was clear who was clearly against that idea that the principal suggested. I
Mhm.
wonder if there's anyone else that also is, I guess, on her wavelength, because there wasn't anyone else that we, I guess, know for sure. But
I don't know, man.
she seems like a good one though.
Yeah, she does.
Mm.
Yeah. She does. And she got her little souvenir from
Eh,
Gojo's.
yeah, she
Her
was very.
collection is growing.
She was so happy. Yeah.
But for every fangirl, there's a hater.
Oh.
And I think the hater would be Utahime.
Yes, Itahime Iori. And she, yeah, is student supervisor at the Kyoto school. And she's semi grade 1. So I guess she's like almost grade 1 Jujutsu sorcerer.
I guess.
But her dynamic with Gojo is so funny. I love that.
It's a complicated history, apparently. I really want to know more about
Yeah.
exactly why she's not liking the man. Like, is it just his personality? Did he stand her up? Just forgot about a date they had. Like, maybe he's just way too cocky for his own good. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's all of the above.
Yeah.
But I like their dynamic, and it's kind of the tease Gojo is to her. But
Uh-huh.
does that mean I ship it? We just started, folks. Like, I'm not that crazy. Come on.
Not that crazy.
But you just shipped a bakery girl and freaking Nanami. Like, what do you mean you're not crazy? Hey. That sparks were flying. Like, it was, they made it as well as said I do right there, and gone on their honeymoon. But there's more to be developed here with this Utahime and Gojo thing, if there is anything to be developed.
I mean,
have no
there at least there's better chances of something happening.
I disagree.
You
I'm
think?
just kidding. I don't.
You don't
No,
disagree?
no.
You don't disagree. Of course you don't disagree. But her dynamic with Gojo, I think it's somehow similar to Gojo's dynamic with Nanami,
Oh, okay.
but it's, I guess, a step further. Like, it's a bit more extreme, and a bit more, or at least to me, it's more entertaining to watch. Even though I love Gojo's and Nanami's dynamic as well, I think
Yeah.
Gojo's dynamic with Utahime is a bit more funny. And yeah, excited to see more of her in general. Like not just necessarily with Gojo, but just in general, I want to see
No,
more of
just in
her.
general, yeah. I want to see more about like I like I really like her design, this the scar on her face. Like I hope there's a cool story about that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just really want to know more about her.
Mm.
But just really quick about Gojo. To be fair, I'm sure a lot of sorcerers have this kind of emotions about Gojo. Like maybe they just don't. He just doesn't get along with other sorcerers. Maybe I
Yeah, no,
don't know.
I think that's definitely the case. I mean, based off of everything we've seen, is there any like adult character that actually
Yeah,
gets along with him that we've seen?
I,
I don't think so.
may, maybe the what's her name, the doctor lady, maybe,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Shoko. Yeah.
but hardly.
Right. Yeah. Like at least it wasn't bad, but it wasn't necessarily good either. Like it was just kind of
Right,
neutral.
right.
It seemed. But no, you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Yeah. And like the manager, no, not the manager. Well, what's his role? I can't remember his name either right now. But the guy with the glasses who doesn't really fight.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
He's just kind of scared of him, sort of.
Yeah.
So that's not great either. But yeah, it's funny actually because I read this book the other day, like a few days ago, and yesterday when I was browsing Twitter, I saw I thought a beautiful piece of fan art of Utahime. Like just
Really
perfect timing, like just suddenly,
nice.
sort of out of the blue, I just came across that piece of fan art of her that was very nice. So it's funny, like just good timing for me there.
Maybe she's relevant in the story right now and in the manga.
Oh yeah, I wonder. Yeah, and I mean, it's also possible, I guess, with these sorts of things when, like, whenever you learn a new word, for example, or you learn about a new character. In my case here, it's possible you may have come across it before without knowing
Ah,
about it. But now that I actually knew the character after having read this book for my first time just a few days ago, I actually recognized her. So I guess that's possible. But yeah, it was good to see. I guess her from elsewhere beyond the manga here.
yeah.
But is that all on her?
Yes.
Then let's talk a bit about the new Kyoto high school characters. There were three specific ones. Momo Nishimiya, the witch girl, or I guess she looked like a bit like a little witch. At least I thought.
Yeah.
A third year student. We don't really get much on her, but she doesn't seem as bad as some of the others. So I guess there's hope there that maybe she has similar thoughts
Maybe she's decent.
as yeah, maybe she's decent. Maybe she's similar to Kazumi. I guess we'll see. But there isn't much really on her.
Hmm.
That was Mekamaru Ultimate. A robot? Like suddenly a talking panda doesn't feel so out of place anymore. Yeah, also didn't really get much on that guy, but man,
Yeah.
that was funny. And as we mentioned briefly earlier, Noritoshi Kamo, who seems roughly about as bad as Mai, I guess. They seem to be at least on roughly the same level of potential evilness.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the vibe I get from them is just uncaring or, do anything to get their mission done type of a thing, and
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Not the best image right now.
for sure. And well, briefly we got to see a Jujutsu sorcerer called Takuma Ino, a grade 2 sorcerer who eagerly seems to want to raise his grade there. But there wasn't much on it. He did get a character bio page in the like.
Did he really?
He did, surprisingly.
Wow.
Like immediately after that, like he appeared in one chapter, and in the like between chapter page there, he got a little bio thing there. So I thought that was pretty funny. I wonder how much we'll see of him in the future.
Maybe Akutami has big plans for him. I don't know.
Maybe.
Why character bio?
Akutami did wish him good luck in like raising his grade at the end of the character bio there.
That's like God wishing you good luck.
Yeah, it is. Wow,
Gee, thanks.
he's blessed. But yeah, not much really on him. Just wanted to mention him. Any other character you want to talk about?
Yeah, Mahito.
Ah, yes.
He's still alive, but he would have beat Yuji if not for Sukuna stepping in like he did.
Mm.
But I thought it was such a creative way to end that fight, you know, with his soul manipulation, and then he just accidentally touches Sukuna's soul,
Yeah.
and it's just, I gave you a chance, and now
Uh-huh.
you ruined it. You're dead.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah. In those instances, you're kind of happy that Sukuna is there, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's definitely like not the evil we're caring about right now. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's Mahito and that group that we're kind of focused in on as the antagonists.
Yep.
But back to Mahito, he after taking a severe beating, he finally learns how to do his domain expansion. That was a really creepy but cool moment.
It was, yeah.
But it was also cool to see Yuji break into it and have that all go down as we explained.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. You just see how certain techniques work in this world, and I think that was some good information to get.
Yeah, definitely.
And then when he's thinking in the onsen, the hot springs, he was thinking like how she should kill Itadori next, and not so much by physically means, but spiritually, how is he gonna kill him again? Which is very ominous, and it's like,
Yeah.
you're not gonna kill another one of his friends, are you?
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that is worrisome. It does kind of make me think about the possibility of them showing up at some point during this Goodwill event and just kind of ruining the stuff there. However, at this point, I already feel like there's so much else going on there. Like, I guess because I think I did speculate at some point before that they may show up and kind of crash the party or whatever. As often happens in these sorts of things in shonen stories.
Yeah.
However, right now I'm actually leaning toward them not doing that. I mean, because firstly, there's already a lot going on at the Goodwill event, like a lot of stuff that can, that we can worry about with the Kyoto principle and having given that order to students. Like that in of itself, I think is going to cause enough drama that this arc can focus on. And secondly, there is the fact that Mahito, at least the way I understood it, he may need some more time to sort of regain his strength before he maybe can get back into action again.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then maybe he'll have to wait until after that Goodwill event is over. So right now I'm going to say they will not interfere with the event.
Okay. Got it. But they're going to be planning something at the very least.
Oh, absolutely they will. Yeah, for sure. But any other character?
Geto, he's confident that the school has 6 Sukuna fingers, and he plans on stealing them.
Yeah, he at least suggested that, but Jogo didn't really think that was necessary.
Oh, but then Jogo's like, yeah, let's do it.
Oh, did he? Oh, maybe that's it.
And then and Geto says his plan is already underway.
Oh, you're right.
So I wonder what that plan is.
Well, wasn't that plan that he's making the school collect the fingers so that they don't have to do it themselves?
I think that was like part of the plan.
Oh yeah, there may be more to it. Yeah.
He said it's underway, so that's like what else is there to it? So anyway.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Just wonder what Geto is thinking, and him being kind of the primary, or he was the primary villain in the prequel. So like, what exactly is his role right now in this story, or going forward? Is he like the main villain still, or?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. Like Geto is really an enigma in this point, in its motivations and whatnot.
Yeah, and it's also I've also started to feel like it's kind of hard, I think, to, or at least for me, it's hard to understand, I guess, the hierarchy within that evil band right now, because I don't know, they all seem to be at sort of a similar level, more or less. Like, I don't know if there is a clear leader really among the group.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah.
And then my last thing is about Nobara.
Yes,
Nobara was very funny in this volume. I just want
she
like
was.
thinking they're gonna go to Kyoto, and it's like no, goodwill event with Kyoto.
Yeah.
She's like ah,
Oh. Oh, she was so excited too.
yeah,
But yeah, I guess that is all of the characters.
yeah.
Then moving into the final bit. And my predictions, well, I guess I got two things mainly.
Okay.
The first one, I guess, is like, really, I expect to see drama on the Kyoto side of the competition now. Because
Oh.
we know that at least Kasumi doesn't agree with the plan, and there
Mhm.
may be others as well that we don't know. But there, I expect to see some drama or some conflict within their team potentially. Like that, at least I would like to see something like that. I think that there could be some interesting stuff from that, and I guess at least maybe some of them are probably gonna try to at least go with the plan and to kill Yuji. Obviously, I don't expect them to be able to do it. Um, and something that I think could be kind of interesting is that if they do try and if they do fail to kill Yuji, maybe the Kyoto principal will come in like
Oh man.
kind of like Thanos, like fine, I'll do it myself or something like that.
Ah.
Like just kind of going rogue or something. Maybe that would be scary as hell. But
Hmm.
I think that could be interesting and just something that came to mind for me.
Yeah.
And my second thing that I guess I could try to speculate a little bit on, although it's hard, I guess, but is about whoever that mole might be that Gojo is trying to find.
Oh.
Uh, the Kyoto principal seems to be an obvious choice, maybe just because,
You think
or
so?
or maybe it's not an obvious choice, but he's shady. He
Hmm.
he isn't cooperative, and with that, I guess perhaps like maybe he would take too drastic measures and side with the bad guys because maybe, or actually no. The more I think about it, no, because he wants
Yeah.
something different from the bad. What the bad guys want. So yeah, actually scratch all that. He wants to kill Yuji immediately. The bad guys want to work with Yuji or work with
Right.
Sukuna. So yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
That actually is not him. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I actually okay. Yeah, I don't know who that Mo might be.
Maybe it's a character we haven't met yet. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
right. It seems like there's still several characters to come, that are part of the
Hmm.
circles here that we just haven't seen in the story yet. But I don't think I can really do much more speculation right now, or at least I haven't thought of anything else to speculate on.
Fair enough. Who do you think is going to win this first match?
Ooh, ooh.
Or do you think are they not even going to get that far because they're too busy trying to kill Yuji?
Right.
Although we do
Yeah,
know that Mai seems to have her eyes set on her sister, and I guess Nobara as well.
that's true. I'm gonna say out of the three outcomes, like Kyoto wins, Tokyo wins, or nobody wins because some crazy shit goes down. I'm gonna
Because they're
go
too busy
with
trying to kill Yuji.
right. I'm gonna go with the third option.
Okay.
And like I'm gonna double down on the Kyoto principle getting involved as well. I just think that would be crazy and fun.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
I know it's a kind of a rogue theory, but it's something I think would be fun.
I mean, it could definitely happen.
Right, it's possible. So yeah. That's all I got there.
Cool. I think the story is really picking up in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I think that the impact that Junpei's death had solidified this as a story I wanted to be invested in. That I was excited to know what happens next.
Yeah, I agree.
And the whole Mahito fight was amazing. And not just talking about the anime, but even in the manga, it's very well done.
Really is.
And yeah, like I'm just impressed with how the story is going and the characters that we're getting.
Mm.
There's not a whole lot of depth right now to some of them, to a lot of them, I guess.
Mm.
But it does feel like he's setting up some interesting plot points to dive into at some point.
Right, exactly. I totally agree that a lot of the characters really are sort of shallow, or in terms of how much we actually know of them, but
Right. It's not terrible,
no,
but
no, no, it's definitely not. Like, I'm still really enjoying these characters for what they are. But all things considered, I mean, we're only 4 volumes in. We couldn't really have too much on all of them. But you're right about there being these little hints for a lot of them, like Nobara, Megumi, Nanami, to an extent Gojo as well.
Maki.
Yes, Maki and Yuji, of course. Like, there's a lot of hints to various things that I can't wait to get more on, and I'm sure we will, or we would better eventually. And I think once we do get there for each of these respective characters, they will feel far more fleshed out and far more like real people, kind of. I think there's great potential for a lot of them.
Yeah.
But if that's all, let's go and advertise our Discord server once again. I know.
Let's do this properly.
Yeah, I know. Last time you were a little like, after we realized the recording was not great, you were a little disappointed by the fact that we gave a little shout out to our Discord server. So let's do it again with good audio this time. We have a Discord server, link in the video description on YouTube, and there's also a link on the podcast platforms. I think you can find it there too. It's an open Discord server where all of our listeners can join us and talk about manga, anime, and really whatever else we want to discuss in there. Mm-hmm. And it's been growing steadily. It's still a pretty small community, but I think it's a lovely little place. And really, it's such a nice, like, the people there are so nice, and like there hasn't, like, I know like a lot of communities, a lot of servers, even small ones sometimes, there can be hostility, or in some sense like not great atmospheres there. But I really feel like our Umami Manga Discord server is such a nice place, and everyone is so respectful and nice, and I just it's I want to promote it because I think people will continue to get along there, and it's just a great place to hang out.
Absolutely. And it was just recently I shared my profile account and on my anime list, and so I was able to get a lot of interaction that way. And it was just a good time just to talk about the things we've watched, the things that we like or dislike, but like have a respectable discussion. So I encourage anybody who's listening who hasn't joined a Discord yet to do so, and you don't necessarily have to discuss your favorite things or get in debate with anybody, but it's just more fun to just hear other opinions or really get excited about certain things. We obviously cover a lot of manga on Umami Manga, so I'm sure your tastes will be taken care of in some way.
Absolutely. So, with that all said, if you enjoy our content, you can follow us on Twitter at Umami Manga, and it would be lovely if you'd like to support us by either rating our show on the podcast platforms or subscribing to our channel, Umami Manga, on YouTube. If you like this episode, please share it with anyone you think might enjoy it too. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time when we'll talk about Volume 5. Bye-bye.
See you later.
I think one of the I threw that over. What was I on?